I need you to know something important.
I'm ready. For important things.
For important things, obviously. Today, when we're shooting this, which is Tuesday, October 28th. I'm so glad I got that right. Is National Chocolate Day.
Which is, why couldn't they just wait 3 days for Halloween? But
don't question the system.
Okay. I'm just curious.
Tomorrow, when people will be potentially starting to hear this, is National Cat Day.
Wow.
Which
also seems appropriate for Halloween.
That's true. So are you, I know you have dogs. Are y'all cat people also?
No.
Oh, wow.
We're both allergic to cats.
Yeah, same.
But Miley is a huge cat girl.
So we have like a stray cat that we have named Belinda because I think it's funny to hear Sammy say. And she'll come in the backyard and root around or whatever. She attacked a... Anyway, you know what? Never mind. It's a big...
This story was really good.
It's just sort of a long story, and I'm not sure it's like one that like really adds any benefit.
Yeah.
But anyway, we have this cute stray cat.
Hey, Belinda.
Shout out. But that's the best we can do. I would actually really like a cat because they're so self-sufficient. Mm-hmm. But you still would have a fluffy pet to But we're both allergic, and I'm not cleaning out a litter box.
Yeah, I'm not against cats in general.
Right.
Like if I weren't allergic to them, I probably would like them more.
Yeah, 100%. Like the fact that it makes my eyes hurt.
Yeah.
I had a friend growing up who had like a lot of cats, and they all slept in her bed, and I would wake up and like be in hives if I stayed the night at her house.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not really the point.
That's not the point. What's the point?
Well, who knows? On Sunday, we talked a little bit about how things can be better, like even just sort of terrible things. We talk about in the children's message, like having to clean up your toys.
Yeah. Because
we do them together, which made me think about how during the pandemic, Steven and I would look up whatever funky holiday it was every single day and would try to celebrate whatever that random one was. Yeah. So I actually printed the list.
Oh, cool.
It is 18 pages.
That is a lot of days.
Well, it's one for every day. So when your birthday is June
1st.
Let's see. June 1st is National Say Something Nice Day.
Huh.
Like happy birthday to Mark.
Happy birthday. How about them apples?
Let's see. My birthday is July 23rd. It's National Vanilla Ice Cream Day.
That's so hilarious.
It's kind of sad. I don't dislike vanilla ice cream. Okay. Any other random day you want me to look up?
Vanilla. I'm glad it's like specifically vanilla because I'm sure there's also an ice cream day. Yeah. But it's but this is Vanilla's day.
Yes, obviously. July 15th is Gummy Worm Day.
Gummy Worm Day.
Yes.
Okay. Who makes these days?
I don't know.
Who's in charge? Who's the committee? Who's the chair?
Well, I think that's a great question because what would you do? What would you do if you were going to make a random holiday?
Yeah.
What would your holiday be?
It'd be Space Jam Day. Where we...
Like the movie Space Jam?
Correct. Where we honored the greatness of Space Jam.
Of all of the things I might have thought that you were going to say, I know of your love of Space Jam.
Yes.
But I didn't
You just weren't ready for it to be
I wasn't ready for it to be elevated to National Holiday.
Space Jam Day would be great.
That does sound like a lot of fun.
Yeah, you could do so much with it.
You really could.
You got space, you got aliens, you got
Jam.
basketball, you got Looney Tunes.
Michael Jordan.
There's a lot of directions you can go.
There's so much to celebrate in that movie. Good conquering evil.
Uh-huh.
The power of believing in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Really stretchy arms.
Okay, I like it. I actually really like it so much. Now I feel bad because mine is National Do Nothing Day. Where you are literally, you're not allowed to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Or do anything.
Yeah.
No chores, no work. Everybody has to leave you alone.
I think that's called the Sabbath, Becca.
I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm sorry. Do you have a day where you do nothing?
No, not absolutely.
No. You have to, if nothing else, like I told Steven last night.
You're eating on nothing day though, right?
Yes, but I would probably do girl dinner, which is like popcorn and apples. That's my favorite girl dinner. I'm not cooking something.
I don't know why it has to be gendered, but okay.
Oh,
I like popcorn and apples.
No, but like girl dinner is like a thing.
Not aware of it.
Well, not being a girl, maybe you missed the trend. I had one of our students was telling me that their dad was going to be out of town, and you know they have a bunch of sisters, and they're like, we are so excited as a family because we'll miss dad, but we are having girl dinner all week.
That's funny.
Yeah. Anyway, I told Steven last night because we were talking about, you know, what all we were going to do for dinner. And I was like, listen, I'm just going to tell you, we have leftovers, so go with God. But when he got home, I had cooked a chicken breast for Sammy. And he's like, wait, you said you weren't going to cook. I was like, I'm legally obligated to feed that kid. You're an adult. Like, you're on your own. I have to feed him.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah. Sorry about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah, I would like a do nothing day.
It's like the opposite of a yes day, where you have to always say yes to everything.
I want a no day.
A no day.
I'm sorry. No. I will not help you with that. No, I am not getting out of this bed. No.
That's hilarious. Well,
I think we probably couldn't.
Where are you calendaring no day?
Can it be tomorrow? It can't.
October 29th.
Yeah.
A no day.
Yeah. That feels like it's not going to happen. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's coming. I actually thought about, I had a gift card. I was like, maybe I could use this gift card to get myself a hotel room. I'm so tired. I just want to sleep. I'm fine. This is fine.
That sounds great. This all sounds really good.
It's good. Okay. Well, we definitely didn't talk about a National No Day.
No, we didn't.
Or Space Jam at all, unfortunately, in worship.
No, it didn't.
But we did talk about joy. And specifically, the joy we have in being together. Whether I loved that you kind of tied it into not just necessarily together in the moment, but together sort of in community.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited. I want to get into it. Let's do it. Well, I'm Becca. I'm the pastor of Family Ministries here at Katy First.
I'm Mark. I'm the senior pastor at Katy First.
Welcome to the Katy First Family Podcast, where we offer ideas, inspiration, and encouragement to help you and your family grow as joyful disciples of Jesus Christ. Today, we are talking about our Stewardship Worship Series, which is still the same worship series that it was last week, but we're tying it into stewardship a little bit. Thrive. And specifically, we're talking about the joy of presence.
Yeah.
So I did want to say, in case somebody didn't, like they caught it today and they don't normally hear it, we talk about how this podcast and the mission of our family ministry in general is to empower and equip families to live as joyful disciples. And that's always been so long as I've been here, that's been the tagline. But you may have only heard the joyful today because we said we were going to talk about joy. And so I wanted to just kind of point it out and say why I think it was important for us to have that be a part of it. Because I think for a long time, first of all, disciple doesn't sound super fun as a word. It's so close to discipline, which is not inappropriate for how it sort of what it is, what it means. But also, it shouldn't be a drudgery to be a follower of Christ.
Yeah.
And certainly it shouldn't be a drudgery as a parent or as a family. Our faith life shouldn't be like a chore. And so we want to help families to enjoy Christ and enjoy being a part of a church family and all of the things, helping them thrive. See how I did that? Thrive in their family life and in their spiritual life as well. So I didn't just stick it in today. It's actually just an important part of what we're doing here at Katy First.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think about I think it's in our prayer of confession, and the words of assurance talks about a joyful obedience, and maybe discipline, obedience is also not a woohoo fun word. But it's a sense of freedom, of delight, of goodness. Yeah. All these things that we want to be a part of our life.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, we talked about a lot of things, and I don't know. Do you want to talk about a little bit about the stewardship video?
Yeah, I mean, so actually, we'll post it on social media this week. If you didn't see, but we at least the past couple of years we've used this time of stewardship to also celebrate the past year, which is always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of hard because there's just so much.
Yeah.
And we were even talking about staff. We missed stuff. Mad Camp.
Yes.
Didn't get a proper shout out. 345 didn't get a proper shout out.
So it's hard to get it all.
We're shouting it out now.
Yeah.
And there were probably others but it's just cool to see. The Christianese is the fruit of your work.
Yeah.
And see, hey, we don't just talk about this stuff, but it's this church really lives it out.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a lot of cool stuff happening about it.
And it feels like I felt like the video was very joyful. It's always hard. Like, I have such a particular view, right? That sometimes it's hard for me. So I actually honestly would appreciate, like genuine feedback from people. Like, what would you say? Like, do you feel like the congregation is joyful? I feel like even when we're outside and it's 1,000,000 degrees at trunk or treat, people are still really joyful and happy to be serving that way. Like, I don't think we have people signing up out of a sense of like obligation. I think it's genuinely a sense of delight. And it is fun. And we do a lot of like even like our really heavy, like, I'm just gonna tell you that the trunk or treat is 100% my busiest, like physically busiest weekend of the year, every year that I've been here. And it is exhausting, which is why I'm having a national no day. I'm just tired. But like, it's also so much fun. And specifically, I think because it's this opportunity to like be with our neighbors. I love that like we're talking about the joy of presence this close to Halloween, because I think there has been times where in like Christian culture we've sort of demonized, no pun intended, Halloween.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've literally. But we're like, it's, satanic or whatever. And I can get why you would feel like that's true. It's not historically accurate because it was actually from All Hallows Eve, which was instituted by the, Catholic Church. Like, so it's not actually, rooted in a demonic history or something. Yeah. And it doesn't need to be spooky spirits or whatever. Although sometimes scary can be fun. Yeah. But like, it's such an opportunity to like really get to know people in your community. We don't trick or treat in our neighborhood per se because we don't live in a neighborhood. But we go to friend's house and we trick or treat with them. And even though I only see those people like that live around our friends, right, this one time every year, they're still a part of my community. And we have this opportunity to just have fun together and have this event. And I love it. I have especially now with like a kid, maybe that's what makes it easier, but it's just this it's just a community event. And there's not very many of those in our culture anymore.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think the like community side of Halloween is what makes it kind of stand out. Yeah. I mean, just going door to door. Yeah. Like, you don't do that anymore. No. There's no solicitation signs.
You don't just show up at people's house anymore.
Most millennials don't answer the doorbell if you're going to ring their doorbell unless they have a Ring camera and they can see who's at the doorbell. Yeah. It's just like the culture's just different. Right. But Halloween suspends that for a second. Yeah. And you do get to see people and have fun doing it. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, because you talked a lot about like disconnection versus connection. Yeah. And how we're sort of trending towards disconnection. Yeah. But that actually there's something beautiful in connection. So say some more about that, about disconnection and distraction.
Yeah, I probably just because it's a little bit of alliteration, but talked about disconnection, dislocation, and distraction. And we talk about often, I mean, the disconnection it's the irony of our connected world, at least connected in like a online form, and even our awareness of global activity is people report so much isolation, from senior adults to, we hear it all the time from our families right now, just the sense of feeling isolated and just wanting connection and community. And so any statistic will tell you many people experience a lot of sort of isolation and disconnection, even though there's ample opportunity per se, I guess, to interact with people. But to have a space where you actually know people, you know their names, you know their family, you support one another, those spaces are more rare. And it's funny where we find them. You may find them at a gym, you can find them in certain groups, but certainly the church is one of those spaces that we want to be intentional about it, encourage it, and so deeply needed for all of us.
Yeah. You talked about how we are called to be people who attune our attention in the same direction of God's love. I thought that was a great phrase.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Yeah, some of that was coming out of this psalm, which is kind of combining a lot of the elements of this psalm that's joyful because it's aware of God's presence. Meanwhile, it's also a psalm that's joyful in the communal aspect of we're together and we're waiting together and we're focused on God's love working in our life. And then pulled in some scripture from Paul out of Philippians when he writes, hey, you're experiencing encouragement and joy and the Spirit together. Make my joy complete and have the same mindset. And this mindset is this mindset of humility where you lift each other up and you care for one another because this is what Christ did. And, I think joy has all those elements. I'm joyful because I'm not so distracted by everything. There is a sense of, you may call it purpose. There's a attention, a focus. I feel like I'm a part of something bigger than myself because I'm a part of a community who's working together.
Yeah.
And in this church, it's part of us living into our vision statement together. It's part of us caring for our community together. It's when we show up and build beds together. You're a part of a group of people who have a shared focus, and that is joyful.
Yeah.
And so the distraction that is just so, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
The point of the sermon was not, don't be distracted.
Right.
We're going to be distracted. Let's work at joy by trying to be more attentive, focused.
Yeah. And
then, so attune our attention together with God's love surrounding us. People in a place are vitally important to that joy too, giving you a grounding in a community.
Well, you talked about how, I liked this line. You said, we're in the sanctuary, and you said, we create this room together. You said, you kind of pointed to us on the chancel and the choir loft of, worship isn't just something that we're doing for you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's exactly how you said it, but that was sort of the gist.
Yes.
And I loved that. Because I do think it's important for us to remember this is something we are not just doing together, creating together. And even with the people online. I don't totally know how that works, but I also don't totally know how bread and juice become body and blood. I'm not really worried about it. Somehow the Holy Spirit links us all together and we do this thing together. And Sammy is about to age out of the nursery, which means in the very not distant future, my child is going to become a problem in worship. He's going to start to be loud some. And because there's just that kid, he just does not feel any kind of public need to be quiet. It's not like he enters a room and there's a bunch of people and he gets quiet. some people might do. Nope, not my kid. And he's so comfortable in the sanctuary, he's going to be loud and probably try to talk into the microphone. And I'm kind of anxious about that. I know other parents are always worried about if their kid talks or makes noise or bothers their neighbor. But there's this beautiful gift that kids give us as they too are a part of creating what we're doing. And that, like, let's be real about how we're already distracted in our heads, making our grocery lists or our to-do lists or just thinking about something totally unrelated. And then the kid next to us does something funny, cute, that brings us back to awareness in the room. Kids add to, I would say, because, and I'm very biased, I would say kids actually add to everything. But definitely 100% kids add to our experience as a family in worship, as a church family, whether they're kids that you know or not. And we had a baptism this Sunday, and getting to celebrate that, and the little boy, before they brought him up, was making all kinds of noise. What joy. Like, I love when your kids make noise in church. It's never a problem. It's a gift. It's a gift to be able to hear their noises in worship. They too are creating what we're doing in this room.
It's kind of like, I don't want this to sound bad or something, but it's kind of like if you've ever been in a spot where there's no birds and you can't hear them, and then you get back to somewhere else and you're like, oh, this is what it's like to have birds singing in the trees.
That's so sweet.
Well, I kind of experienced that because where I grew up was a very wooded area, and so I grew up in a spot where
you heard birds a lot.
I heard owls hooting, and you get used to that noise until you get to somewhere and it's like, why is it so weirdly quiet? I think there's an element, like, kids are kind of like that in worship. Like, they add this necessary awareness of the larger vibrancy of life that's happening around us.
That is very well said. Very beautifully said.
And so I understand, at the same time, distraction is hard. But both those things can be true.
Yes. And I think the fact that we recognize it's not a performance, which means everything doesn't have to happen and go off without a hitch. We're not always going to end at the exact time, because this is not a timed thing. It's not a movie with a definite end-by date. This is what we're doing together, or sometimes somebody's going to, the mic's not going to work, or this isn't going to do. And like, those things they shouldn't be distractions. They're just part of the work we're doing together. For sure. I think looking at it that way leads to a much more joyful and exciting. I think vibrant was a really good word to use. That was well done. Woo, nice. One of the other things you said, and I'm going to get weird about this, not that I haven't already been weird today. You talked a lot about presence and people and place. Have you read Sandra Richter's The Epic of Eden?
In parts, yes.
The only reason I say that is she actually talks about that very specifically, those three things, as key markers of the covenants that we find in Scripture.
I didn't ever think about that.
The minute you said it, I wrote down the little triangle and wrote Triangle of Hope, which was what we called it. The idea is, because I think it fed perfectly into what you were saying. So forgive me for nerding out here for a minute.
Go for it.
But the idea is that you can see through Scripture, you have the idea, the original intent of God's creation, where there are God's people in a place that God creates for them with full access to God's presence, right? And it's the perfect place. And we see too in Revelation, that's the final intent that God has for people, right? And then there's all the kind of messy middle, and we see God through these covenants, through Noah, Abraham, Moses, and Jesus. We see how God is like fulfilling these things. And every single time we're reading through, specifically like in Old Testament, we are looking for, where are God's people? Where are they in? What place are they in? And how is that impacting them? Because that's a very different story for Abraham and Moses than it is for Jesus, right? Or it even talks about like David, like, you know, different for David as well. And so like we see how much access to God's presence, full access to God's presence do they have? You know, Abraham, I mean, not really, right? Moses has it kind of one-on-one, but not for the people until they build their tabernacle. It becomes a whole thing. And then here comes Jesus, and now God kind of moves out everywhere. And the reason that I found it so startling is like, well, if that's the full redemption plan, and we're sitting here talking about fully enjoying the goodness that God has to offer us, it doesn't seem surprising to me then that it would be about recognizing the presence of God among us through one another and just paying attention, or that it would be because there are God's people, or that it would be in a particular place. You even said it's a recognition that I belong somewhere and I belong with some people. Yeah, somewhere that God created for us, and somewhere that are with people that are, you know, God's people, which are, it turns out, all people. I thought that was so striking.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't connect those dots, so it's good that you did that.
Well, first of all, I nerd out about that particular study. I think it's great.
Yeah.
But it's also like the whole point of Scripture, it turns out.
Turns out.
It's kind of a big deal.
People, place, and presence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. That's a good connection.
Thanks. Every once in a while. You can tell I went to seminary. not too often. There was so much this week that I just really enjoyed. And I felt like this week was so easy to tie into like family life. Just because it's also true in family life, it's not a performance. You're not doing it for other families or for social media or for the teachers at school or whatever. It's something you create together with your little family and then the families around you.
Yeah.
And that work is intended to be joyful, even though it can be really, it's still work.
Yeah.
It's not work.
It's not work, but I mean, I think, you know, I do think joy is chosen and cultivated. And so in the midst, I think the more we sort of train ourselves to see what the joyful part of, even the hard part of raising up a family and keeping a family together and all that sort of stuff, that's like a training of ourselves to remember there is joy in the presence of all of it.
Yeah.
In all of it, for sure.
I mean, I think for me, one of the biggest like blessings has been just a recognition like of the fact, this sounds so bad, these days are fleeting, like and so while I am not excited about every part of them every day, there's at least a moment usually every day where I can go, oh, this is the good life for this moment. And I think every season of life, whether you've got littles in your house or not, whether you ever did or not, I think every season of life has the potential for us to, there's something so beautiful here. But I do think it almost always comes from the way we're connected to one another. I am more and more convinced that that is just the whole point is connection with one another. That's it. That's the podcast.
That's it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope that you have found some inspiration and encouragement for yourself and your family. If you'd like to get our podcast delivered directly to you each week, you can subscribe or follow us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or Spotify. For more information about Katy First and upcoming events for your family, you can visit our website at katyfirst.org. We want you to know this, that in the middle of your ordinary, messy life, whatever that looks like for you in this moment, that you are not alone, you are doing a good job, and you are so loved.
And we hope you'll join us on Sunday. Not only will we continue this Thrive series, but it is what we known as All Saints Sunday. So as All Hallows Eve, this is tied to Halloween. But on this day, we read the names of all of our members who've died in the past year, We invite people to submit names of family and friends who they want to honor, remember, who may have died in the past year. And it's just, it's one of my favorite services every year. I think it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like any time that you remember the loss of someone, it's somehow both sad and joyful. It's a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
And I think if you haven't been in a church that does that, you could talk about that with your kiddos as they're coming in.
Yeah, give them a heads up.
Because they will experience the All Saints part of it before
they go for
Katy First Kids. And so we'll read names and we'll bring in candles that light for these names. Mm-hmm. We'll honor all the names. And, while it's solemn, it's also very beautiful. Mm-hmm. It reminds us that we are surrounded by this great cloud of witnesses in this life and in the next. Oh. And so just a heads up as we come in for All Saints that we would love for you to join us for it. It's a beautiful Sunday, or we'll be right back here next week on this podcast.